Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to show you how you can connect an AWS MySQL server to your FastAPI. So let's begin. So first of all, I'll head to my AWS account right here, and we can then head up to the Aurora and RDS section right here. So this will have all your DB instances and databases which will be set up right here. So I'll just go inside the database instances here, and then I can create a database right here. All right, so now I'll just create a database here, and then I will choose the configuration for it. So I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. First of all, the MySQL server, and then we can go down and select some other configurations, like I'll just keep it as a free tier for now. Moving forward, for the username, as you can see, I have kept it admin itself here, and for the password, I'll just keep something I'll just you can choose your password right here. So I'll just choose it something like uh, programming knowledge itself, and then you can confirm the password as well. All right, so moving forward, we can move forward. I think we can skip most of these. If you want to configure yourself, you can configure these as well, but I'm just going to skip this for the demonstration purposes. And then if you want to connect it to an EC2 computer resource directly to your basically hosted service, then you can connect it as well from here, and just select the EC2 instance here, and it will be connected to that automatically. But for now, we are just connecting it to our fast API, so we do not need that, and we can move forward. And for the public access section, we can set it as yes, because we will be connecting it through our fast API here. For the VPC security groups, I'm just keeping it as default, but you might have other options here which you need to configure again. All right, so for the additional configuration, the port is set to 3306, which is the default port for MySQL server. And the most important thing is setting up a database name right here, because if you do not set up a database name, your database will not be able to connect to any external APIs like FastAPI. All right, so I'm just going to name it something like test MySQL, and then I'll just move forward, and I think everything looks fine here. So I'll just create this database here right now. Then I should it. All right, so I'm just going to use the underscore instead of that. And all right, so now let's wait for the database to get created. All right, so for the status, as you can see, the status is creating right now. So we'll just wait when it is totally set up. Till then, we can create our coding script through which we are going to connect our fast API to the AWS RDS MySQL. All right. So for this, I'm going to name it something like AWS RDS, or maybe something like RDS MySQL.py, and we can start coding the stuff. So first of all, I'm going to install some requirements, which are going to be pip install FastAPI, obviously, and then I'm going to install SQLAlchemy, also PyMySQL, and also Juvicorn for running the FastAPI. All right. After installing this, we can now start building our database file. So I'm going to create the database file right here. So for the database file, we're just going to basically create an engine here, which will be referred to as engine in FastAPI's file itself. So we'll just create a basically client which will be able to connect to the database and then run our queries basis on the FastAPI's request. All right, so let's start the configuration. So I'm going to import SQLAlchemy first. So I'm going to import from SQLAlchemy. I'm going to import create engine, and I'm going to import, I think that's enough from SQLAlchemy. And then I'm going to also import from SQLAlchemy.org. I'm going to import session maker and declarative base. All right, moving forward, now I can set up my database URI, which is going to be a variable. So that's going to be database URL. This is going to be something like, well, so basically for MySQL, the format for the database URL is basically writing MySQL plus PyMySQL initially, and then you can fill in all the details. So for the details, first of all, we need to write the username. So if the username was admin, as we have set as which is basically the default username inside our database, we'll just confirm it once the database gets created. And for the password, I had kept it as programming knowledge itself. And then we have to write the endpoint here. So the endpoint will be created after the database has been created. So I'll just write EP for now, and I'll replace it after it has been created for the DB name. And then after the one more slash, we have to write the DB name, which was test MySQL as we had kept it before. All right, perfect. So now we can set up an engine object here, which is going to be a create engine of the database URL. And then I'm going to create a session local here, which is a session maker object, which just binds to the engine. Then we can set up the declarative base, which is the base equals to declarative base, and that's it. We can set up and get DB function, but we do not need it right here. So we'll just remove that. And now we can simply create a basic file for basically a basic FastAPI file, which will be able to call this database. So I had already created this file right here, as you can see. So basically to connect to the database, what we do is first of all, we need to import, uh, as you can see from RDS MySQL, I'm going to import the engine and base, and then I'll just use this function, which is base.metadata.create all bind equals to engine. So this basically creates all the database and also connects to the database using the engine. And also I have used one more thing, that is mods, which is basically the models, which is the user model right here, but we are not currently using it. So I'll just skip it for now. And I'm going to change it to MySQL right here. All right. So basically, if our database is connected, we should get this message on the root URL of our FastAPI. So for now, I think it should not be connected because we had not written the endpoint in our database URL. So I'll just run this using the uvicorn command. So that's going to be uvicorn. And the file name is actually RDS fast. And we have app inside us. We can reload. All right, so I'm just in the wrong directory right now. All right. All right, so the application is starting. So let's wait if it starts or not. And as you can see, it was not able to connect to our database. So let's now fix it by entering our correct endpoint for our database. So I'll just refresh it and let's see if our database is created or not. All right, so it is in the status of backing up. So let's just wait for this to get running. So then we can connect it to our FastAPI actually. All right, so as you can see, the database is now saying that the status is available. So that means it is running perfectly now. So we can now copy the endpoint from here and then paste it right inside our database URL right here. All right, so now I'll try to boot my application again and let's see if it connects to the database or not. All right, guys. So as you can see, the application startup has been completed successfully. So now I'll just visit the 8000 port at my local host to check up if the fast API is working perfectly or not. So here it is. And yes, as you can see, it says the message which is connected to AWS RDS MySQL. So that means the database connection was successful and it is now connected to the database on AWS RDS. Alright guys, so that's how you can connect your RDS MySQL server to FastAPI, and that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.